studying and research and everything that I've done has led me to where it seems absolutely necessary to start working on strategic fundraising plans. So just an FYI, I'll be bringing that with me to Koha US.
Awesome.
And so I can share it with the board, and I can share it with everybody, and then we can start pulling it apart.
Hey.
Changing verbiage so it meets whatever the criteria and needs are. So just an FYI.
Good luck.
All right. Good to know. So, yeah, strategic plan sounds like something that would be useful. And I went ahead and hit record there in the middle of that because it occurred to me that I'm not actually taking notes. Chris is going to, Mr. Davis is going to watch this and take notes. But I have to record it if he's going to watch it. That's the way that works. So, all right. Well, no other announcements from anybody?
Not an announcement, but a suggestion for a future workshop or program or something. How about a Koha Sysadmin boot camp? I was thinking this week, there's an awful lot I don't know. Designed for libraries that want to go it alone. Almost know what they're doing, but not completely, like me.
Hey, that's me too. I'd totally be up for something like that.
So I know Plaque is doing something really interesting, but I'm not sure what.
All right. Well, we can put that down, and that can be maybe something we can work on as educational. Somebody's willing to do a class or workshop or something. Okay. Well. I'm not sure I've seen anything come through the mailing list on the nominations for officers for next year. I don't know if anybody wants to correct me and tell me they have. I just haven't seen anything. So we're looking for vice president, secretary, treasurer, and member at large. I believe Fred has a nomination for member at large. Other than that, I don't know of anybody else who has nominated someone or self-nominated themselves. Anybody here heard anything? Want to nominate themselves?
Robin, I'd be interested, but given my position with fundraising, I don't want to create any kind of conflict of interest.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that if it would, that might be something we can talk about. What were you looking at? George just asked if the vice president this year becomes next year's president, and that is the way that works. So Chris Brannon is the vice president this year. He will be next year's president, and then we need a vice president. So which position were you?
I'd consider vice president.
Okay. I don't see that would be a huge conflict of interest, unless anybody disagrees.
No, I don't think that's a problem.
Now, the position of fundraising, Todd, is that fundraising for the user group or fundraising for Bywater?
He's doing a lot.
That's where I'm concerned that we may have the rub, because I'm working with fundraising for actually both. I'll be developing and working on fundraising for Koha US, given it's a 501c3. But with different projects that we have going on with Bywater, people want to fund directly through Bywater. That's something that I'll be working on.
I mean, I guess I don't have a categorical problem with it, but as long as there are structures in place to maintain the independent user group, governing.
Well, and that's where I think the treasurer, I'm not sure I would be as excited if he wanted to be treasurer, although I'd love for somebody to be treasurer. Right now we don't really have one. I
nominate Max.
Don't do that.
Actually, I'd consider running for treasurer.
That'd be awesome.
It lines up with what I do here. It lines up with what I do personally for my homeowners association. It's certainly something that I would consider nominating myself for.
Okay. Well, I think as long as Todd, I'm not sure that being treasurer of the group and fundraising that might be a little too close, but vice president doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Okay.
If it doesn't bother anybody else.
Well, my name's in the hat then.
All right. Well, we've got Todd for vice president, John for treasurer, Fred for member at large. Secretary is the only one we don't have. And that's the person who takes the minutes, sends out basically Chris Davis. That's what he does. Sends out announcements, that kind of thing. So I'll
I nominate Chris Davis.
Yes, let's see, he's not here. Let's nominate him.
Fair enough.
Sounds
Chris.
fine to me.
All
So,
right.
John, are you currently under indictment?
No, I'm not.
I noticed that George also said, George popped up in the chat volunteering as well. So
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. So awesome. Yeah, I think Chris has been Davis has been the secretary for a while. So George is also throwing his name in the hat. I don't know if Chris has any interest in continuing or what. So we're still, capable of taking nominations, but it sounds like we have at least one person for every officer. And one thing, Todd, I should probably mention, not only next year, if you're vice president this year, next year you would be president. The year after that, you'd be past president, which is the position I'm in right now, which is why I'm still on the officers list.
Okay.
But then I won't be next year. So, just it is a 3-year cycle. Although most of the time, past president doesn't do so much. Just kind of providing organizational memory, sort of thing. So,
what's the deadline for nominations?
We want to be voting before August, so I think the deadline is probably coming up pretty soon. I do not see it. Oh, crap. Sorry. I do not see it in the minutes here. It may be in last month's minutes, though. I don't know if we. Let me.
Is it in the bylaws anywhere?
I don't think we have a specific when things are supposed to be done in the bylaws. I don't think so. Let's see. June 14th was our last meeting. And it doesn't look like it's there. Honestly, I don't remember what we decided, but if we're going to be doing a vote leading up to the conference, I think probably we need to no later than crap. That's next month, isn't it? Wow.
Not just next month, but
It's
weeks away.
weeks away. Yeah, I was gonna say, the end of the month, but that's going to be right at. Let's say the beginning of next week. Give y'all a weekend to think about it. If somebody else wants to nominate themselves, they certainly can. And then I'll work with the rest of the officers to get the voting started. I think last time we did, what did we do? Google Doc or SurveyMonkey? I forget how we did it. I think maybe last time we did it at the conference.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think a show of hands.
Okay. And I like the idea of letting people who can't come to the conference vote, but we're going to have to figure that out. Chris Brannon, I think, is working on that. And I still don't see him listed. So
In terms of how it typically works, like for stock and shareholders,
mhm.
there's typically an in-person vote at a meeting, but prior to the meeting, anybody can submit through whatever official ballot there happens to be in place. And then those votes get tabulated with whatever is done at the meeting.
And that seems like the best way for me to do it personally, because that covers both. I just hate to leave it to just the folks who can physically travel to the conference place. Yeah. So I hate to limit it like that. So I really like John's suggestion. And so we will try to, if we get the nominations in by Monday, the next Monday, we can set up a pre-conference voting, hopefully by the end, give a couple of weeks of voting and then it'll be conference time. Yeah. So we'll get something set up. So let's do that if no one objects.
Can we be sure and send out an email to the whole Koha US list to make sure?
One more, please nominate yourself. So yeah. All right, cool. Okay, so we have nominations. We have, the next is the conference report. I don't know where Chris is on that. I'm not sure.
Brody wasn't answering. I'm going to call Brandon right now and see if I can get him in.
Okay, and I need to keep remembering Brandon's the chair of the conference committee. So I'm going to skip that for now, unless somebody else on the committee has a better idea of what's going on. Okay. I'll skip that and we'll go to the finance committee report and let's say since Todd's calling Christopher Brannon, do we want to move to Nancy and then come back to Todd? Okay, so Nancy wants a discussion on how Koha US will handle donations. One of the things that she mentioned was replies from Koha US to donors should include receipts stating specifically what the funds will be spent on. Sorry, I can't read. And then during last month's meeting, it was decided the donation acceptor should have the means for the donor to specify the type of work their donation to Koha US should be spent on. So you have a list of options like software development, conferences, scholarships, that kind of thing. Is Nancy here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so do you want to elaborate on those?
Well, I just, I myself have a bit of a donation in my budget, and I know the county won't go with just, here's the money. So I thought we needed something a bit more formal set up that we could use. It was just a thought, so.
Yeah.
Well, I absolutely agree because I think the IRS might look rather askance at here throwing money at different things.
So, I mean, general donations are also pretty standard. You use this for however your organization needs it, so I don't think we can rule that out.
But for those who need a specific target, do we have Nancy suggested some categories, software development, conference, scholarships, etc. Do we want to use something like that as a category?
Would it be possible to set up just kind of a generic form on the wiki here that someone could download that would give you the option of checking boxes of software development, conferences, scholarships, whatever, and then or just general fund?
Yeah, we could certainly create a PDF and stick it on the wiki so that people can print and send that in with their checks. That's totally doable.
Maybe some sort of generic letter of acknowledgement that this is what it's for. We agree that this is what it's going to do.
Okay, right at the moment I have a template that I send out. Everything that I've gotten No, except with the exception of, well, George, I just did a little receipt, but everything I've gotten has mostly been through PayPal. So I have just responded with an email, just a template that I got from the IRS on what's required by your tax people to make it an official donation that is tax deductible. So I include the Koha US information, our IRS number that is required, whatever that is, and
Yeah,
and then and so I send that out whenever I get a donation through PayPal. It doesn't say what it's going to be used for because we didn't really ask when we solicited the donation. So.
Well, this would certainly be something the treasurer would have to be responsible for acknowledging, etc.
well, if I can just jump in here, part of the strategic fundraising plan includes making sure that we have those emails and templates ready. As we are developing a contact list and as people are making those donations, then we'll have formatted responses. So anyone that's a part of the fundraising team as we develop would then be able to use one of those common responses and send that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could also set up an online donation form similar to the registration form.
Yep.
It's easier to go to PayPal than write a check.
Yeah, and we do have a link on the wiki for the online donation form, and it's there. I can add, I think, like a drop-down list to the PayPal button. I can, make adjustments to what PayPal asks. It's not always usable. I'm still not getting notification of, I do ask if you're registering for the conference, who you're registering for someone else on the conference, who you're registering for, that's supposed to show up. It doesn't seem to be. So I'm not sure what the issue is with that. I haven't had a chance to go into full troubleshooting mode on that. But theoretically, when I'm in the PayPal button creator, I do have options to, create a drop-down list of options we could use for general donation, software development, whatever categories we have decided on. So that's, I guess what we need to do is decide on the categories, and then from there we can start making the changes. Does anybody have any suggestions for other categories besides what Nancy has brought up? Again, software development, conferences, scholarships.
I think just general community.
Mm-hmm. And the general one, yeah, I think that's.
Yeah.
Think those four are a good start?
Yeah.
Okay. I will see what I can do about getting those added onto the PayPal button so that when people go to PayPal, it's an option. I'll also see about getting a PDF, like a Word doc, of donation that people can print off and send in with their checks. That includes that. So I will take care of that.
Thanks, Robin.
And then so the second part of Nancy's issue here is if they tell us what they want, we will include that in the response, the tax deductible response receipt that is sent out, whether that's through mail or email. Okay. Anybody have any other thoughts on that?
So if somebody has a development that they want to work on, they can give a brief explanation of what that is. And if they want to deal with somebody about that, then we can help them find somebody who can help them with that development.
Yeah, theoretically. I'm not sure how we would, we'd have to work out the workflow on the back end. But
right.
Yeah, I can maybe have an other. So if you do software development, do you have a particular software development you want in mind?
Okay.
All right. Then we can go back up to Todd. Google for nonprofits. Did everybody look at that? Todd sent that out via email.
There's that deer in the headlight look. Do what?
Have to confess I didn't.
So it's kind of fun if you go into Google and you do Google nonprofits. They'll show you what nonprofits have access to. One of the things that I brought up is that we probably really need to consider, coming up with a Google account that at least the board can be a part of, so that official emails are coming out from one common account that we're all working from. So that's kind of what I'm pushing for right now, just to get something that's going to be common to Koha US.
Mm-hmm.
How that will then join up with what Jesse and Chris Davis are going to be working on, Jesse Zero, with the website and so forth. Just trying to bring a commonality so people have something to refer back to and have a sense of confidence and can start to develop our appeal.
And we can, I think Nichols controls the domain name. So I think that all I have to do is confirm that I own the domain to get it set up for Gmail, the nonprofit thing. So if we decide to do that.
Saying nonprofit, Robin, I think, it's an understanding that Google's willing to work with nonprofits. I don't think this is not going to come at a cost, but it's going to be at a greatly reduced cost.
Mm-hmm.
If we need to pay for more storage and stuff like that, we can start considering that maybe in the future. Right now, I don't think we have any concerns.
Not really. No, I don't think so.
Just getting this set up and getting it rolling and getting the board members in there and being able to generate emails and so forth, that's, I think, kind of imperative to us and what our mission is.
Sure. And we do have, we've got a little money to spend on things if necessary. So, okay. Well, does somebody want to take the lead on looking into the Google for nonprofits and seeing about getting an account set up? Once the account's set up, then I can help with domain, so we can have an email address that comes from koha-us.net.
I don't mind doing it since I've already pursued it.
Okay.
And then I'll just deal directly with you and
Okay.
anything set up financially.
Okay. That
And I can
works.
put that burden on your shoulders.
That works.
Just one more thing.
Just one more thing. Fortunately, we're in the slow period at Nichols. Everybody's too busy with summer reading to be asking us questions. So,
Right on.
okay.
We just had a new group of residents and fellows start, which is why I'm not volunteering.
Fair enough. Does anybody have any objections to that? Any thoughts about? Okay. All righty.
I think if you buy one room, maybe limited license, but that's the thing. That's not how.
Nancy, is that John?
No, that's Ian
Okay.
and Max. Max has disappeared, so he's talking on the back.
The ghost of Max is with us.
All right. Okay, so the next item then is for John. Are there any programmers at U of M who want to intern as a Koha developer? Have you had a chance to look into that?
I've had a chance to look into it. Unlike the business school, a lot of schools and colleges here are actually very slow during the summer. I've got a few things out, especially with the College of Engineering and also the library school here, which still is a library school no matter what they call themselves. To date, I have not heard back from either of them, although I expect that probably by next month I will have heard back from them, because faculty coordinators and that start to trickle back around the beginning of August to start getting ready. So once I hear back more, I'll send that along. But right now I've got the feelers out, but nobody's gotten back to me yet.
Okay. Are you going to be at the conference?
Yes,
Okay.
I will.
Okay. So hopefully if you've heard anything by then, you can let us know. Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. And then Again, on the follow-up from the last meeting, Jessica and Christopher, Davis, we're going to work on a website to replace the wiki that we have now. Is Jessica here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here.
Do you
Hi.
have any report
Yeah,
you'd like to make?
Yeah, Christopher and I met yesterday, and we talked about a couple different sites, WordPress and Concrete 5, and we're kind of leaning towards WordPress because we think that would be a lot easier for people to update and use because a lot of people have familiarity with it. So I sent him like kind of pros and cons of both, and he said he wasn't able to be here today. So we're going to try and meet back up again when he's back in the office, and then send our formal proposal to you guys of what we think we should move to. So we're just kind of in the pros and cons phase and
Sure.
testing things out. But we did get to talk, so.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds like it's moving along. So, again, I think next month's regular meeting happens actually right in the middle of the conference. So we'll try and have some kind of sit down and chat. I think we've worked in some networking time that maybe we can.
Okay, great.
Say this is our meeting. Let's figure out what's going on. So, all right. Any general development discussion, trends, ideas, bugs, things you're working on right now, things you want to share?
We've been talking to Bywater about getting a development for a hierarchical system so that we could turn on local holds priority for districts in a consortium. And we're seeking other consortiums that are interested in helping fund it. At this point, they estimated that it would be about $5,000. So if you have any questions, you could email me at lizettes@latahlibrary.org. I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, Lisette, there are some county libraries in my my consortium that would like their branches to be considered local too. So I'm going to talk to those directors and see if they can scrape up some cash.
Okay.
All right. Well, it sounds like George said in the chat that we've pledged $1,000 at Nichols for that. So,
thank you, Nichols.
Somebody's got money. When's the party at Nichols?
Well, if you all would just vote to have the conference here, we would throw one. But nobody wants to come.
I did, but everybody picks the West Coast. This will be the third of 4 years.
Well, on the West Coast, yeah.
Plus, and if you add CohaCon, this will be 4 out of 5 years that we've been on the West Coast. Not that I mind the West Coast, but I'd like it to be at Nichols because then I can just drive there.
Yeah.
And then if I get fed up, I can just get in my car and leave.
Well, those of us in Texas have to get out of Texas in August.
Fair enough.
Well, Brandon's not here, so I can say that I definitely voted for Nichols. Anybody else? I think we all did, though.
I think Nichols was my second vote, but Coeur d'Alene sure spoke to me in August in Texas.
Sure. No, I get the weather there is supposed to be beautiful while we're there. So yeah, I totally get that.
Well, August in DC is not a time to hold a conference either. So
that's a swamp.
That's
an urban legend.
No, I lived there for a long time. It's a swamp in August.
It was not built on a swamp. It just feels as if it does.
Well, you got the Chesapeake Bay 2 minutes away, so.
And the Potomac.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's considered this. Next year, CohaCon will probably be in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So we may not have a conference next year.
That actually has been brought up. I know maybe I've heard of that somewhere. I don't remember who. But that may be the way to do it. We can have a meetup at the CohaCon as for the Koha US group. But that...
Do we know where it's going to be?
Last time I looked, I think...
Portland. We're shooting for Portland.
Oh.
On the West Coast. Look at that.
Yay!
You know what's really fun about that, though? It's an opportunity. Nevada Library Association, well, MPLA, Mountain Plains Library Association, usually pals up with one of the state organizations. This year it's going to be in Tahoe, so it's going to be NBLA, NLA, and MPLA. Maybe we can build this as something, really great. And, Koha US and Koha International are getting together, and this is what it's going to be. So, I mean, we could really market this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, next year is my last year. I'm retiring, so I want to
Don't say that, Vicky.
go out with a bang.
We'll give you a bang.
Oh, Todd, do you have a list or who from Bywater is going to attend this year? Just out of curiosity.
There's probably about 5 of us, I think. Brendan's going to be there. I'll be there. Jesse. Adam, are you going? So that's 4. Nate, you coming or no? That's
When is it?
Koha US in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
When is it? In August?
Yeah, August.
Maybe.
August 8th, 9th. It starts the 9th. I think it's the 9th from the 12th.
Yeah.
I
9th.
think yep. Brendan, Larry, Michael, I think is coming. Michael Cabas, who's our
Michael's here.
Yeah.
Joel will be
I'll be
interested.
there. Yeah.
Go Caboose.
I know that my plane tickets have been purchased, and they are on the 8th and the 13th. So
Yes, I have purchased my plane tickets as well. And you just can't get there from here. I have 2 stops, 1 plane change. So,
Yeah, I'm flying into Spokane
yeah, Spokane's the closest airport.
and then renting a car because I think my plane arrives in Spokane at like noon. So I'll probably hang out in town there for a while and then head for.
Are you flying in on Wednesday?
I'm flying in on Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not flying in till Wednesday, and I hope I remember somebody told me that the hotel had a shuttle.
Yeah, I think it's $50 one way and then $65 round trip. I don't know if that's per day though, if it's for the whole time that you're there.
Well, I'm only going to go over. My husband's going to fly in, and we're going to go to Kalispell.
Vicky, you just know how to live.
Wild woman.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh, I would love to go to Kalispell. In fact, there's a librarian there who's promised me local information.
excellent.
How about Nick? Is Nick coming this year?
Nick from Bywater?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
The last time I talked to him, he was not.
Oh, he's been at every one of these as a member of his consortium when he was still there. That's too bad. And Kyle, everybody loves Kyle.
Yeah. Those two are a couple hotties for the company. We've got them doing different things right now. They're working on some really cool stuff. So.
And Jesse, you're not coming?
Oh, yes, I'm coming. I'll be there.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we should have some of the newbies there so we can meet and greet.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. Any other general development discussions other than Lisette's?
Oh, I had one other thing to add. I think we should have like a consortium meeting, the group that we've formed to discuss consortial developments. I think we should have a meeting at some time, whether it's formal or just at dinner or something, to talk about what consortia need. And I'm still pushing for the security enhancements, so library A can't delete library B's books and that kind of stuff, which it's probably going to have to be a funded development. So I've got Kyle's RFC, which I'm going to add some things to, and then try to push that.
Okay, George said that he mentioned it to Christopher as a session group meeting, but he didn't think he'd ever heard back about it. We did have one presenter cancel, so we may have a spot in the schedule for an official meeting. Otherwise, George says that the Coeur d'Alene Brewery has nice beer, and maybe an afternoon or dinner meeting could be set up there. So,
Or combine the two. Have the brewery delivered.
so yeah, I think that's a good idea, and maybe you guys can work out where and when you guys want to do it. But like I said, there is one session that has already, the presenter has already backed out and will not be able to make it. So there is some space in the schedule. Maybe we can.
Who would that be so we can publicly shame them?
Elaine Bradkey, the English Folk Song Society.
Okay.
It looked like an interesting one, too. Hope she can do it another time.
So, however you guys want to do that, but that would be something I think it would be useful for quite a few people. So, all right. Anything else?
We still have time.
We do. We've got like 20 minutes. We can.
Oh, no, I'm at a loss for words. No.
Or we can say, well, I think we skipped a couple of things. The conference report, I still don't have anything for that. I think it's going along well, but and then everything else we went back to. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of the meeting. I will officially.
Okay, yeah, go. You can close the meeting.